it's Yuri from JavaScript Room, and today I would like to talk about Reddit games. What is the Reddit games? You probably know that Reddit, if you go to Reddit, you can find this section with games, and the Reddit provides its own hosting and the marketplace and the system for deployments and the framework called Devvit for this purpose. So they developed the whole infrastructure. And recently I've built one simple game and just wanted to share a little bit of my experience because I had to dive by myself into details and learn some stuff on the go. So I wanted to share this with you. So I highly encourage you to go to developers.reddit.com to read more about the ecosystem and what Reddit provides for us. The docs section, you can go here and read as well a bit more about the framework Devvit, which is behind this. And also today I will talk a little bit about this repo that I've just created. So it's a starter for this kind of project. I've created a small repo out of my game in order to quickly replicate and start a new project. So again, what is Devvit? Devvit is a framework from Reddit, from what I know. This framework provides two different types of applications. I also mentioned it here in the repo, different between them. So there are two types of apps, Devvit Blocks and Devvit Web. What's the main differences? In Devvit Blocks, you use their internal UI, and in Devvit Web, you can use the framework you want, React or Angular or whatever. It's basically a web application with a front end and back end, and you can host it on their ecosystem. So you don't need to worry about hosting at all. You just push it to Reddit and it will be hosting it for you. Also, the main difference, one of the main differences is if you go here and check, for example, some of the games you see they are available immediately in line, and some of them you need to open separately. You click the start or launch button and they are opening up. So this is the difference. With the blocks, it allows you to make the app interactive right away. With the web, it's more powerful, but you need to click the button to open it to be able to start interacting with the application. That's one of the differences. Also, yeah, what else? Full screen, you can read the README file to get more details, but this, I would say, the main major differences between these two apps. So what's the stack? You normally build with JavaScript or TypeScript if you like, and this Devvit.js Reddit framework. In my particular case, I used PNPM as a package manager and Biomi.js instead of ESLint. By the way, if you use the starter from the Reddit, yeah, they use ESLint. And I'm not a big fan of ESLint once I moved to Biomi, and I really like Biomi and prefer that over ESLint. So my starter is using Biomi.js for that. So this is a short summary of the Devvit, and now let's switch to the repo, and I can quickly explain what it contains. So the configuration file devvit.yaml. When you build applications for blocks, you use devvit.yaml. When you build application for web, you use devvit.json, which has much more options and much more configuration. For the blocks, as you can see, it's very simple. I just used these 2 lines of code explaining name and version, so that was enough in my case. Biome.json configuration for the linter, very easy, but at the same time it was tricky to make it work in my project, because as you can see here we use HTML-like tags which are coming from Reddit UI. So it's not really an HTML, it's a HTML-like syntax. So in order to make this work nicely with the linter, I had to do this trick and use the typings from this package, Devvit public API. With this little trick, it works nicely now, and I managed to make it work with the linter. So we have package.json, basically where we describe some commands, which means here dev command, you run it on local, which in fact pushes your code to Reddit server and runs in the subreddit where you can test it. So it's kind of hosting already, you host it already on their site. It's not completely local thing, but it is the way, from what I understood, this is the way how to develop your app. So linter and deploy, this is when you upload your code basically to their storage and deploy it, the application. And then you can also publish it with this command. And this way your application should become available for external users to try it also. First, I would recommend you to do a login command to execute the command, this command to log in into Reddit. And also logs, you can do this command when you need to debug some stuff which is sometimes helpful and not really visible. And yeah, create new app. This is combine command and type check for the TypeScript. So it's pretty simple setup. What else interesting you can notice here? This file main, it's supposed to be called main.tsx, and I think, I don't remember where it's specified. I think by default it's supposed to be named main. If you change this name to index or something, you need to adjust the configuration, but I don't remember exactly where. So yeah, I would suggest you to keep it as a main.tsx. In this file, you configure the rights permissions for your applications. This part actually can be configured in devvit.yaml for web application, but for the blocks, you only need to configure it here in this file, from what I understood. Also, here's the option to create a trigger for the for your application, and the action which will be shown here. For example, here, yes. So basically, this one, this button you configure there. And this is, by the way, the game that I built. Pretty simple, but it's funny. Anyway, so where did I stop? Yes, and here you basically configure this part for rendering your application, basically in that widget that you post as a post. And then inside the app, you basically build your app with kind of React-like application, React-like way, but yeah, as you can see, different component types coming from their public API package. You can read more about blocks here in their documentations. For example, yeah, it should be here, Devvit blocks. You can go through, check what they provide. It's quite limited. Basically, use state hook, use interval, and use async hook. But yeah, of course, if you need more complex stuff, I would probably go for Reddit Web and build a proper application. Okay, what else? Also, I wanted to recommend you to move this here. They provide nice AI. Here on the website, you can ask any questions regarding Devvit and your application here. It helped me a lot while I was debugging and building my stuff. But at the same time, I also had to dive myself in order to debug some things because the documentation is not covering everything. So be ready to spend time yourself debugging things. So this is pretty much what I wanted to share. Overall, it was fun to build a game for Reddit. I will share all the links in the description. I think Reddit games have a lot of potential, not only if you want to build games, but also you can build some kind of applications on Reddit for your subreddit or for people to post in their subreddits and reuse. I think it has a lot of potential, and you also can even implement payment system. They support the payments already. So this is pretty cool. Yeah, so it's pretty much what I wanted to share. Please go ahead to the repo and start project yourself. And thank you very much for checking in. See you.